Good afternoon. It's getting up to that 4 o'clock slot again, and here we are for our sway and stretch. So this is a 10, 12, occasionally pushing it up to 15 minutes movement snack, albeit some of the time we spend in this movement snacks are between changing from one thing to the other, and you may well take a pause and not be completely active throughout the whole time that we do these movement snacks. So there are pauses and lulls, but I reckon about, if we added it all up, excluding pauses and lulls and the length of time for the movement snack today, I reckon we're on about 10-12 minutes easily. So this means if this is your third session today, that you would have bagged anywhere in the region of 30 to 40 minutes worth of movement minutes, and that's just with us. That's just with tuning in to myself, Dave and Bex. Dex and Bave, I nearly said then. In fact, I quite like it, Dex and Bave. Good afternoon, George, your first one in today, and nominated timekeeper, I'm sure. So thank you for that in advance. So there's a few more people lurking in the background. Here comes Maddie in second place. And who's coming up third place? Now yesterday or the day before, Mrs. Perry came in at fourth place and she got a bit of cheese emoji. So the first got first, second got second, third got third, so gold, silver and bronze, and then the fourth person in on the register got a cheese emoji. We'll see what happens today. You got to be quick. Christine Lewis has bagged herself the third place, the bronze medal, for signing in on the register. And Kathy, I'm afraid you're fourth in. There ain't no prizes for fourth place or medals. So I'll think about what emoji I can give to you later when I look back at all the comments. So Kathy's in, Brian and Carol are in. Great to see you, great to have you here with us. Hopefully you've had a good day. The weather's certainly cheered up round here in Leicestershire, and it's feeling somewhat warm in my kitchen today. So we've got a bit of a change of location. Hopefully the lighting's going to be okay. I have got my super bright trainers on though, so hopefully if it is a little bit dull, it's really difficult to tell sometimes. So if the lighting's not perfect, at least you'll be able to see my trainers shining out from the darkness. That's the theory anyway. So Christine, you're in, Mrs. Perry's in. She's ticked herself off the register. Thank you for your dedicated attendances, everybody. I suppose it's company for me, Dex and Bave. But also it's obviously doing something good for you as well. So whether it's helping out with your motivation, your mental health, being part of a community like Make Movement Your Mission offers, or whether it's bits and pieces of your body systems that are benefiting and feeling good for the movement that you're giving it. It doesn't matter which, either all of those or a couple of those. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that we're here, we're ready to move, and movement brings on some wonderful things. Gillian's in. Caught up with Bex's snack, so ready to stretch and sway. Lovely stuff. I've got a small change to our sway today. A slightly different arm movement being built in to the arm movements we've been practicing already. So you can take any options, or there are plenty, as you may well know. What are you saying, George? Dealing with the local council most of the day. Yes, your brain is probably ready to switch off. And we're on 3:59. So we're in our last 30 seconds or so of getting stuck in with a 3, 2, 1. Shall we just do it? Let me just say hello to a couple more. Jane, hello. You're the last one today. George has called it, so here we go. Margaret Wood, you're the last one in. Swipe the comments to the side. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. Today is Friday. Yes, it's Friday. the 10th of July, and it's looking mighty nice and bright out there for me today. So hopefully it is for you too. My name's Kelsey Leverton, as you probably know by now, from Later Life Training. I've given you the weather update, so let's start the movement snack. Have a think where you'd like to start. You can move between seated and standing options as you see fit today for whatever movement we're doing. In the chair, in the seat, lift away, lengthen up. Just take the shoulders through 1 or 2 shoulder circles if you like, in seated and in standing, and then hip walk forwards in the chair. So a shoulder circle up, back and down, sets the posture in a more open position and gets some length through the neck and the shoulders. If you want, start your heel pumps or foot pedalings. We'll like that, foot pedalings, as you get going there in seated. In standing, have a think what you've got around you. You may take up a bit of support just as you get your feet moving. Now look, I've just gone straight into a full leg march, but you can keep it at a slightly lower level if you like, just for a few moments there before changing it into a leg march. So as we leg march, seated or standing, you're lifting and clearing your feet away from the floor. We've got a transfer of weight as we change from one standing leg to the other. Have a think about how high your knees are going and try and get right side to match left side or the other way round. And we've got a bit of a flow, a bit of a rhythm in with our leg marches there. If you feel okay with leg marches and you want to put some arm swings in, have a go with the one side first. If you do need to keep hold of your support, and then change sides. I'm lucky enough with my pitch today that I've got something here and something directly to the other side. Swinging action, moving from the shoulders. If in seated, your hips need a bit of a break, then just take a bit of a side tap there. Now we call these side taps, but we're actually on a bit of a diagonal as we tap. Pointing the toes, keeping the heels lifted through the side tap. Same in standing, just on a bit of a diagonal. So if we think about the face of a clock, we go into 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And as you know from Bex's movement snack, where you've been doing some of these, if we prolong these over a period of time, they can serve as a circulation booster as well. If you want some arms in, you can just swing your arms steadily there, like you would your arm swing normally, but just a bit slower to cater for the tap and bringing the foot back in to the start position. Keep going with that. We've got a moment longer, so come back to your marches if you prefer doing those. I'm a bit clip-cloppy on this kitchen floor today, aren't I? At least you can hear the landings of my toes to heel. Ankles, feet and toes. Toes, ball, heel on the landing. All right. Bring that down to a stop. Let's press the pause button on our circulation boosting. Take 1 or 2 long deep breaths. Let the shoulders lift up, back and round, and let your arms literally just hang out of the shoulder joints. Feeling heavy, feeling loose. Our arm movements today, if you take your feet about shoulder distance apart or hip distance, there's not much in it, but your arm movements here in freestanding, we've got a palm pushing forwards as the palm pushes backwards. And a swing, like a pendulum swing out of your arms, out of your shoulder joints. In the chair, you'll be okay to do both arms together, sitting up tall, just lengthening and being aware of what your posture's up to. Or alternatively, if you do need a bit of support in standing, you can rest your bottom. It's only a light touch here, although I could have a good old perch. It's just a light touch of my hips, bottom against a surface that's not going to move, and we can move the arms confidently together. If that feels all right for you, you can begin to bring some ankle movements in. So here we've got a heel lift. Just show you from one or two different directions there. So this is like pedal, but we may be bringing it, needing to bring it a bit slower, just so that this is a more relaxing, leisurely sway. Seated and standing, the same there. If you prefer to add a small knee bend, then you've got that option to work between as well. It's up to you, whatever feels good for you. In standing as well, if you've got some support, you might not quite be able to get your arms so far back, but if you'd like to work with one arm at a time, then that might be better for you, changing sides at some point. Alright, if that feels alright for you, let's have a go at working just on one side. We'll do a couple of rounds of this, just watch this first. So either with your steady knee bends or with a bit of a heel pump in. So here's what it looks like. We do one forwards, one back, and then on the third one, take the arm in a small circle. Pause in the middle. We've got a bit of a twist and a turn with the head and the trunk there. 1, 2, 3. Here's a small over with a gaze change. Let's have that on one more on that side. And the feet are obviously switching with the heel pumps, or you've still got those steady knee bends in. Whatever suits you. Let's have a go on the other side. So forwards, backwards, forwards again. A bit of a slower movement there. Drawing a circle with your arms in a position that feels okay for your shoulder. So it might be a low over. Well, that was a bit high, wasn't it? It might be more here, the over that you do. Might be just smaller and lower. Keep going with that. One more on that side. Just take a pause as the arm goes through that over. It's like I see into the distance. If you want to, if that feels all right for you, have a go at switching sides. There we have you. And we're going to do one more on my other side. Taking a pause. Oh, the wind's blown the door open. We were just at a pause as well, wasn't we? All right, have a pause there, everybody. Take a rest. Okay, let's have a think about some upper body stretches first of all. In standing, you may want to take a bit of support here. Tell you what we'll begin with. We'll begin with a hug and then press the arms back. So the arms come back into a bit of a chest stretch position and then changing sides. Rounding your shoulders forwards. This is really the only time we're allowed to do this, isn't it? Because we're always trying to promote an open posture, which is what this does. Arms are low, round the shoulders forwards, round the back forwards, same in seated. Keep the arms low as you press back into that chest stretch, or the chest stretch tight position that we're not quite holding yet. This time we will though. So wherever you are, hands towards the back of the chair, or in standing or seated on the side of your hips, shoulder blades are squeezing back together, eye lines forwards, we're lifting, we're squeezing and pressing back with the elbows to lengthen all across your chest and around the front part of your shoulder. Hold it there, breathe into it and recover from that stretch, setting the shoulders back and down. Here's the upward side stretch. So hand to the shoulder, seated or standing, it's up to you. Standing, if you can, make sure that you've got your weight evenly over right side, left side. In the seat, weight even over right side, left side of your hips. The elbows up as high as it can go without it being painful for you. Extra stretch for the side, keeping the arm in this position and supported if that feels fine for you. Up, up, up. Bit of a stretch all the way down. Side of your body, recover. A full stretch if your shoulder likes this. If it doesn't, leave it with the previous option. Just a big, long, lengthened arm there. Getting a stretch all the way down from the back of our arm, straight down the side of our body into the hip area. So there we go, hold it, pause, relax into the stretch, and then either a lengthen, try to push the elbow a bit higher. You've got a bit of a side bend with your trunk there to get into a sideways stretch. Recover. If you're going all the way up, extra stretch, reach, 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 breathe, 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 and recover. Okay, upper body, done. Here's the lower body. So what we'll do today is a standing calf stretch. If you need to remain in seated, of course, that's where you'll stay. I'll be right with you. So you want one foot astride back, heels pressed down, bend into the front knee, and you can get a stretch in the calf on the back leg. Use your support there. Hold it there. 12, 20 seconds, a bit longer if you need it. In the seat, here's your seated option. Toes are pointing upwards, heels down on the ground. We're pulling the toes back to lengthen the calf. So we're trying to move the heel away from the knee, as it were, to try and lengthen the calf, bring it into a stretch position, which shouldn't be painful, but should be mildly uncomfortable. But you've got this. That's how uncomfortable it is. It's a you've got this slight discomfort. Take a pause there. Change sides in standing if you haven't done already. And let's have a go at holding the other side, pulling the toes back, pushing the heel forwards to get that lengthening into the entire area of the calf, the belly of the muscle, and a little bit lower down is where you may feel this stretch as well. Excuse me. Tall posture, no leaning forwards, just a relaxed but active upper body posture. Take a pause there. So, in standing as well, just stay with one foot in front of the other. Here's a slightly different stretch for you, with your heel lifted at the back, a small bend into your knees, and then have a go at pushing your hips forwards. So tucking the tail under, trying to push the hips forwards to get a stretch along your hip flexors. So where the bend in your hip goes, that's where you should feel it. Take a change of that. In seated, it's very difficult, as the way we sit and the way the hips are bent, to actually achieve that. So what we're going to do is 2 inner thigh stretches. So lengthened posture, hands on the outside of your knee, inside of your knees, sorry, and pushing the knees just a little bit wider. The feet are flat here and turned out. We've talked a little bit about 10 to 2 positions. Willow, just put something behind the door, please. If you're in standing, come down and join us into the second inner thigh stretch. So tall posture, tilting forwards, trying to resist the temptation to round your back. Keep lifting, extending out of your hip area and up through the spine. Should feel some lengthening along the inner thighs. So stepping over things. Bex has been doing a little bit of wider standing as well. So tight inner thighs can be quite restrictive sometimes when you're getting in and out the car or needing to go a bit wider into different positions. Okay, what have we got next? And finally, our stretch for the back of thigh. Since we're all in seated, we might as well stay here for the back of thigh stretch. So let's have one leg out straight. Loose ankle, loose knee, other foot flat on the ground. Just slump down a little bit there, just give your posture a small break. Now really try and lift, lift, extend, extend. You'll feel your top half lifting away out of your sitting bones and your hips, which are planted in the chair, and then tilting forward, should I say, not glancing. That's a glance, that's a tilt. So the tilt's from the hips there and should bring you into a stretch into the back of the leg. So more flexible muscles around the hip and knee area can help us to improve our stride length, help us improve when we're doing tasks such as getting down and up from the floor, whether you would be in the garden, whether you be choosing to get down and up from the floor in your own front room, let's say. Up, up, up with the posture. We've changed sides now. We're just moving into it, steadily moving into the stretch and holding it there once you've found the bite. So the bite is when the stretch tension just kicks in and says, I don't want to go any further because any much further will be painful. That's when you know to stop, isn't it? Okay, lifting the chest, breathing through. Shoulders are back and down with your long spine in that position. Fix in there just for a few more seconds and recover. I think we is done movement guys and gals. We are all done. So this marks our Friday of week 16, I believe. 2 more days to go before we'll be hurtling ourselves into week 17 and progressing this mission further. So Friday night, I'm going to open a Krabby's now. Where is it? Doo-doo. Stay hydrated, but not all with wine or beer or anything. Your secret's safe with me. Dave will see you at 8 AM tomorrow. Bex will be with you at 12 noon and I will be back with you at 4 PM. Have a great Friday night, everybody, whatever you're doing, and take care. Bye now.